All right, it's Thursday, May 7th, 2020, and I haven't made a video in a while. I've been scratching trades, scratching away profits of trades. Haven't had anything huge since the start of May. Today was actually a really big down date for me. I had a couple of losers in the beginning of the day. First one here was TEVA, which was up on, you can see here on the daily chart. It gapped up, and I think it was gapped up on earnings today. I'm not 100% on that. It could have been something else. But yeah, I had earnings this morning in the pre-market, which is what pushed it up. So I got in um, thinking that it was about to drop lower because I thought it would fade on the day. You can see it kind of dropped below VWAP at the beginning of the day, came back up, dropped below again, came back up, and it broke it for a third time. And that's when I said this is probably going to be a short. So I got in at 11. What was the short I got? 1169, and then it started kind of coming back to VWAP, but then it rejected again, and I thought this is it. It's going to keep moving down, but then it bounced off this 200 moving average on this 1 minute chart, and eventually broke back above VWAP. And then you can see I was a little early because eventually it did fail VWAP and the 200 moving average, and it came all the way down to my first target was right around 1140, and it did eventually hit it, but then it kind of went back up again. So you can see on the 5 minute chart it's been all over the place. It's been down, up, mostly down though. I just got in a bad spot here because it just quickly reversed on me, so that was a bummer. I also took a short. No, it wasn't short. I took a long in MD, which popped up on one of my volume alert uh, scanners. And this one, you can see it was also a gap down, or it was a gap or gap down to around 1250, and I got in right when I thought it was going to take off, and it just reversed and went straight back down to right back down to my stop. And I'll show on the 8 minute chart. I'm not the 5 minute chart. The 8 minute ERA. See, I saw this little pattern, started forming a shelf here, and I thought it was just going to level off and move up. But it reversed back to the 80 MA and then broke below, and it's just moved sideways. It was just not a good mover today. That was unfortunate. But the one that made up for my losses was Iron Mountain, which is a real estate investment trust. So this one was also a short I took. And you see it worked out for me. So I will open this up and show you what I saw on this. So this one, well, first of all, on the daily chart, this was also, I believe this was earnings today. I want to say it was earnings. If I check, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had earnings in the pre-market. So when you look at the daily chart, you can see it gapped up here from basically kind of moving down a lot. Everything's obviously been moving down recently, but it was gapped up on earnings to about $24 from all the way down from $22, basically near where it closed. So I didn't see it until later in the day. It popped up on my volume alert gappers. I probably popped up earlier than this, but I have it set to not repeat for like I think 30 minutes or an hour or something. But I noticed it right here at 1 o'clock. And the reason I noticed it was that it was moving down off of this break of the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA, and so it already had that break, and then it started regressing a little, started moving back to the EMA, but it kind of used it. This 2 bar pullback sort of pushed up against the 8 EMA, and they went down again. So I figured this could, if it holds this 8 EMA, it could be a good short. So I got in at 2503. Moved down, did not hit my first target. I almost partialed out here. It's actually good I didn't, because I almost, when it pulled this green bar, I was thinking of taking some shares out up here at around 24.92. Obviously only like 10 cents below where I got in at 25.03. Then it moved back to the 8, but then look, it rejected the 8, which was what I was hoping for. Came back down, and then I finally took out my first partial, a little above my first target, which was around 24.77. I took some out at 24.82. Small amount, less than a third. Then a nice quick drop here again, coming back to 8 MA, dropping. Came back down here, and I took some off at 24.70. So I had about a third left. I didn't take a third out here. I took a bunch of shares out here though. And then it kept dropping and eventually hit 50 cents below where I got in at 24.53, and I actually got out at 24.51. So about 52 cents below where I took the short. So 52 cents on about a third of my shares. I think I got out 24.70 So that was 33 cents with about close to, not so much half, but close to half, and then a little bit of shares here at 24.82. So it was all around, it was a good short. You can see it did continue down, got all the way down to about 24.23, which was would have been 80 cents below where I got in, which would have been nice. I just didn't want to risk a quick bounce because it was moving. You can see it's moving away from this 80 MA, and the more it distances itself, the more likely it's going to quickly snap back. And you see this big red bar, it just did just that, came back and then broke above. So could continue down again, but there's only like 40 minutes left in the day, so I'm not gonna push it. So that was a really, really nice trade. Made up for the loss, and it was a nice short. And I haven't been taking as many shorts lately, which I've been looking for bouncers basically in stocks in the first 5 to 15 minutes. I'm better playing plays at the open where they kind of burst through resistance, the 1 minute opening range or 5 minute opening range breaks up. I'm not as good at shorting at the open. I'm much better at shorting later in the day when I see the pattern setting up, and this is obviously an example of that. So really good trade. Iron Mountain got a decent move out of it. So hopefully we'll be back tomorrow on Friday with another trade review.